This week, I've been spending time in the 2025 Genesis G90. Not a bad way to start a video in the back of a G90. Absolute baller status. I've driven it almost 20 hours and 700 miles, so I'm going to be giving you my impressions on what it's been like to live with for the week. We'll look at the exterior, interior, and then we'll go ahead and take it for a spin and see what it's like out on the road. So let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior. We'll open our electronically assisted door, and then we'll go ahead and close it with a push of a button. Pretty sweet. These door handles will recess in the door when it is locked. The G90 looks so elegant. It is finished in Capri Blue, an optional paint color. Total price as tested is $102,000. It is all-wheel drive. It is huge. I think it's like 17 or 18 feet long, super wide, such a commanding presence on the road. You have the signature LED headlights as well. You can just see how wide this vehicle is. 21-inch wheels, bit of a staggered setup, 245s in the front and 275s in the rear. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk. Power trunk lid. I actually had to pick up my in-laws from the airport in this thing, and they were able to fit all of their luggage back here, not a problem. Pass through into the interior as well. No spare tire, but you do get a fix-a-flat kit and a cargo net back here. Premium fuel is recommended, but not required. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at what's under the hood. So under the hood of this particular G90 is a 3.5-liter turbocharged and electronically supercharged V6 mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Makes about 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. It gets 17 city, 24 miles a gallon on the highway. Super quiet, super refined. We'll get into the driving impressions as we go along in the video, but a whole lot of plastic under here. You can hear it's not very loud at all. Let's go ahead in the back seat where we started this video, and I'll show you all of the features in the back of the G90. This is finished in the beautiful, I think this is a glacier interior. It does get scuffed, and these carpets have seen better days. I think I would opt for the black interior if it was me. So this particular seat in the G90 is where you want to be. All 4 seats in here are heated, ventilated, and massaging, but only this seat can you fully recline and have a nice little ottoman here to rest. Almost every single function in this car can be controlled on this 8-inch screen. Let's see, we'll go to the climate here. I can turn on my ventilated seats here. I can go ahead and turn on my massaging function. I can choose if I want like upper body, whole body, control all the shades as well. You can even control the lighting, the color temperature of that, and the brightness. You have some media controls up here as well, so you can adjust what songs you want. You do get a nice center console here with UV lights, so you can set some stuff in here, turn this UV light thing on, and it will sanitize anything you put in there. Wireless phone charger as well. Tons of adjustability back here for these seats. This passenger over here also does have that same functionality, but obviously they will not be able to recline like I can. Look at these pillows on the back of the headrest. Super comfortable. Everything in here, the materials are insanely nice. Real wood, real Nappa leather. Up through here, you do get a couple cup holders and some connectivity, 12-volt outlet and a USB-C port. I did forget to mention, in the vents, there is a fragrance option that you can choose from and choose the intensity. There's 2 different ones. My favorite place in the Driver's Awakening can make this thing smell like a Macy's store in here. At first I thought it was a gimmick, but once you actually use it, it's actually pretty awesome. So let's go ahead, hop in the driver's seat and see what it's like up there, and then we'll take this thing for a spin. To put this seat back into the normal position, all you got to do is press and hold this button, and everything will come back to where it was. It does take a while, and you do have to press and hold the button. As you can see, this is really scuffed up from my shoes. You also get a vanity mirror back here as well. There are so many features on this car. I'm sure in this video, I'll probably have missed a few, so I apologize. As soon as you put your foot on the brake, the door will automatically close for you. Up front here, you do get 2 12.3-inch displays, wireless Android Auto, wireless CarPlay, 360 reverse cam, and as soon as you put it in reverse, that rear shade will pop down for you. This infotainment is super nice. You can control it via touchscreen, or you can control it with this little scroll wheel down here. You have this 3D setup menu here, which I think should be standard in every single car. If you want to just control the lights, you can go to the lights. This does have ambient lighting. You can change the brightness, you can change the color. This thing looks absolutely insane at night. It's like a party bus in here at night with the LEDs. It's wild. Down through here, you do get your climate controls. You do have a touch screen to control the front and rear climate here. A couple cup holders here that can be hidden out of the way. Obviously, we just covered the stereo controls here. Your buttons for your heated and ventilated seat, your drive modes, all the buttons to close the doors as well. Not only can you put your foot on the brake to close the door, but you can also just hit these buttons at any time, so none of your passengers need to shut the door themselves. Wireless phone charger, decent size center console with some connectivity, decent size glove box as well. It's felt lined, auto dimming rear view mirror with home link, no digital mirror, which is kind of a bummer because you do have some visibility issues with that shade up. I wish there was a digital rear view mirror here. Sunglasses holder as well. You do get a sunroof up here and an illuminated visor mirror with a ticket holder. This gauge cluster here is super customizable. You can go through a ton of different options. There's a ton of different widgets that you can go through here. You can even have sports scores in your gauge cluster if you want that. But, you know, I could bore you with all the settings. There are so many features to cover in this vehicle, and I'm trying not to drag on and on and on. So I'm doing the best I can, guys. Apple Maps is integrated into the gauge cluster as well. Once you have a destination shown, it will kind of navigate you through there and there as well. You do get a heads-up display as well that's super customizable. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see what it's like to drive out on the road and see if I missed any features while we're on the way. As soon as you put your seatbelt on, it will tighten it up pretty nicely. There's like some motors in the seat fastener in this thing up here that will hug you in your seat. I currently have the gauge cluster and everything in here in dark mode because my camera overexposed in the last Genesis video and you couldn't read hardly anything on the gauge cluster. So hopefully this is a little better. As we sit off here, one of the things you will notice instantly, whether you're a passenger or driving this car, is how smooth and refined the ride is. It is so quiet in here. There's little frequency sensors all around this vehicle that help with road noise. It's got active noise cancellation. As you can see there, you do get the blind spot camera system. Very handy. You barely hear the engine in this thing at lower RPMs. Shifts are just non-existent. You hardly feel this thing shift at all. I've honestly really enjoyed driving this car this week, but I really wish I had somebody driving it where I can be back there relaxing. I've had a ton of people in this vehicle this week, and every single person was blown away by the quality and all the features that are in this vehicle. Every single one of them said that this is the quietest, best riding vehicle they've ever been in, hands down. No squeaks, no rattles on the inside here at all. Everything in here seems to be put together nicely. This has 7,400 miles, so it has seen quite a few automotive journalists beat on it. As we approach this bumpier section of road here, you can hear, or actually not hear, anything in the cabin. There's no reverberations at all. We're just being glided across every single pothole here. This has a 4-corner air suspension that I believe uses the front camera to kind of predict in real time and adjust the suspension accordingly. Handling is pretty good. Obviously it's a big sedan, but it's not a land yacht like Panther platform cars back in the day. This does have rear wheel steering as well. So even though this thing is like 17, 18, 19 feet long, I can't remember what it was, you can turn this thing on a dime. It's a weird sensation when you turn on a sharp corner and you just feel that rear end kind of guide around a little bit. Something I've never experienced before. It's my first rear wheel steered car I've ever driven. Even coming to a stop, it's well controlled, nice firm brake pedal, progressive. There's no rocking back and forth. You have a few drive modes here. You got Eco, Comfort, and Sport, and then if you press and hold the drive mode button, it will go into chauffeur mode. We'll soften up everything, smooth the inputs on the throttle, Make the transmission shift a little bit smoother. Not that it needs to shift any smoother than it has anyways. Over this bump. And the railroad tracks. Doesn't even care at all. Let's go ahead and put this into sport mode. And do a highway acceleration. You get paddle shifters behind the wheel as well. I don't know if I would ever want to use these in a vehicle like this. All right, nobody's coming. Let's go ahead and floor it. It's rapid. It's very, very rapid, especially for the size of the vehicle. Let's go back into chauffeur drive mode. And on the highway, you get adaptive cruise control, lane centering. It does have highway driving assist too. On mapped highways, it will do lane changes, will guide you through them. Works extremely well, keeps you centered on the highway, very limited driver input. It does have a smart adaptive cruise control system as well. It adapts to your driving style and will kind of mimic what it learns from you, which I think is pretty awesome. Easy to get control, easy to adjust your following distance. All the inputs in this car are super nice. I've said that about all Genesis and Hyundai vehicles. The abundance of physical controls and the way they lay everything out is just so user-friendly and easy to use. Visibility is pretty good. Obviously with the shades up, you are limited. That's why I wish we had a digital rear view mirror here. But the pillars aren't super thick. The windows are absolutely massive. Let's go ahead and hook it into this corner here. It's amazing for the size of this vehicle. If you want something that's more spirited, you know, obviously go for the G90 or something else, but for what this is pretty impressive. This does have a 23-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is absolutely insanely good. I would rate this an S-tier sound system, probably one of the best sound systems I have ever heard. It does have, I think these are tweeters, that pop up in the corner when the audio system is turned on, and then when it's turned off, it kind of recesses down in the dash. This can emulate concert halls, I believe 2 or 3 of them somewhere in the world. I think the Boston Concert Hall or something like that, it can mimic. And once you turn that on, it's just unreal. It literally sounds like you're in a theater. This week, I have averaged 26 miles a gallon, and I've seen on highway trips upwards of 30 miles a gallon. What's also really awesome is you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain, and I believe a 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper, which is pretty insane for a luxury car. I definitely would want it with that turbocharged and electronically supercharged powertrain. Statistically, Genesis has been very reliable, but you know, just something like that kind of scares me from a long-term reliability perspective. But let's face it, I think most people that have one of these cars are probably going to lease them. One thing I did want to cover, and I covered this in my GV60 review a little while back, is the dealership experience. At one point, Hyundai and Genesis, you know, were kind of the same company. It was a Hyundai Genesis before it was just Genesis. And because of that, they, you know, were serviced and sold out of the same dealers for a long time. And that caused a lot of, you know, kerfuffle with owners and everything. It just wasn't a very pleasant experience. You get far better experience at a Lexus or Mercedes, an Audi dealer, BMW, et cetera, et cetera. But Genesis has been working to improve that and building their own dealerships, which look absolutely insane. But the nearest one near me is like in Menor, which is quite a bit of ways. So Genesis, like I said in my GV60 video, if you're listening, if you could build one in Canton, that'd be awesome. You do also get service valet for a limited time. They will come pick this vehicle up anywhere and service it and then bring it back to you. My overall impressions have just been blown away with this vehicle. I mean, I haven't been in too terribly much high-end luxury vehicles. Last year I had a Lexus LS, and this just blows that out of the water. It's not even close. It rides better, it's so much quieter, the powertrain is so much more refined. There's a lot more features in here. The LS costs I think $20,000 more than this one, if I remember correctly. Oh, I want to show you the turning radius of this thing real quick. Let's go ahead and turn it lock to lock here. Just look. I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. And look how tight this turning radius is. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. There is one more thing I want to show you on the G90. And when you turn this vehicle off, it plays a nice jingle. It's not what I wanted to show you, but you guys have seen this tons and tons of times on all of the Hyundai Genesis products over the years. It does have remote start park assist. All you gotta do, press and hold the remote start button, start the vehicle, then press and hold the forward or backward button, and it will move the vehicle back or forth with just a push of a button. Super handy if you are in a tight parking spot or just don't want to step in a puddle, or if your person that you're chauffeuring doesn't want to step in a puddle or anything. Shout out to Genesis for sending me this vehicle to film this week. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of the Genesis G90 and how it stacks up against the competition. And we'll go ahead and see ya in the next video. Take care, everybody.